Hey everybody, happy Saturday. This is David again. Today I decided I'm going to do part two of my favorite returning David's Teas in 2020. So this is part two. Currently I'm sipping out a tea that I wish would have came back in 2020, and that was David's Tea Hard Candy. Tastes like a liquid cherry Jolly Rancher. I think it only came out in 2015 and it hasn't come back since. Been hoarding it ever since, but it is terrific and delicious. So let's get right down to it. The first one and the next tea in the series that has come back in 2020, which I was very happy to see come back. I think it is the perfect mint green tea for me. Very simple. I know a lot of companies have this tea, but for whatever reason, this blend really I like a lot. I did like Tivana's version of this as well, but that's no longer available, so let's go with what I got. So that was Moroccan mint, organic Moroccan mint. It is organic green tea, peppermint and spearmint. It is just, for me, the perfect green mint tea. I love it hot, love it iced. I usually just drink it straight up, but it is good with a little honey as well. I think it came out a few years ago as part of their like feel good collection, like early in the year, January, February, that time, and it was just seasonal limited edition. And so glad that it came back, so I was able to stock up, have this tin plus a few bags of that. Next was another tea that was part of their core collection for a few years and then was retired, and it came back for a very short time last summer, and that was Magic Dragon. Love dragon fruit, love the actual fruit, love dragon fruit teas. They did come out with a couple other dragon fruit teas last year, so I can understand why sometimes they feel they need to retire stuff, but this one was really interesting. It's apple, rose hips, hibiscus, sweet blackberry leaves, and dragon fruit, and it's tart. It's slightly floral, slightly sweet, and I just loved it. And sorry I had to smell it because it is just so good. Did have a whole bunch that I got right before it retired the first time, and then I stocked up on a little bit again last year when it came back, just to top off the tin and have a couple extra. But was happy to see that came back. I do enjoy dragon fruit aloe a lot different than this, but it is tart sweet. It's got that cool aloe, candied aloe in it, and it's still available now. So that one was really good. I suggest you check that one out if you like dragon fruit. The next was, ooh, let's go with white chocolate chai. So this one was a seasonal blend from a couple of holidays ago, and I think it might have come back once before, but it did come back right at like near the end of last year. They brought it back as a different tea name. It was called Jingle Bell Chai. It was pretty much the same exact tea, but they added like little sugar snowflakes in it. But it was essentially white chocolate chai. It is a black tea base. It's got cardamom and cinnamon and clove and white chocolate pieces in there, and I think it's just absolutely terrific. I like it straight hot. I like it as a hot latte. I like it as iced latte. So very glad it came back. I know a lot of people don't like stevia, but it does have some stevia in it. I just like it on its own, so this way you don't have to add sweetener for me. But I really enjoyed it and glad that it came back, so I was able to get a little bit more of that under Jingle Bell Chai. Another one that I know a lot of people were very excited that came back. It's come back every so often. Like it seems like every few years they bring this one back, and that was coffee cake. Um, it's not really coffee cake tea as Americans would consider coffee cake. Coffee cake is like a crumbly cake with cinnamon and things like that. This is more of a like sponge cake, fruit sponge cake, and that's what it tastes like to me. It's pretty much black tea, and it's got cherries and pineapple in it, and that's what it tastes like to me. It tasted, I mean, it literally tastes like a vanilla fruity sponge cake, and I just love it. It took me a while to like this tea. When I first encountered this several years ago, I thought it was okay, and I never really bought any. I drank a little bit, and then it came back again, and I bought a bunch. And then as I continued to drink it, I fell in love with it, and so I was very excited that this came back. And I think it's still popping up on the website, I believe, every once in a while over the last few weeks or whatever. But yeah, coffee cake, very delicious. I like it just hot, but I'm assuming great as a hot latte. It's been years since I've had it as a hot latte. Next was one that I had tried once or twice many years ago and never really thought about it again until it popped back up, and I was like, wow, they brought this back. How interesting. And that was Exotica. Um, when I looked at the ingredients, I was like, God, I barely remember what this tasted like. But it kind of, the ingredients when I read it reminded me of a tea that was back, came out a few years ago called Vanilla Swirl, which I really liked a lot. And this one it's really cool light tea, tons of lemongrass in there. And I had to show this to you because it's just tons of lemongrass. And I can't remember what else. Oh, papaya and mango and pineapple and rose petals and hibiscus and passion fruit and apple. So and pink peppercorns. It's just I think it's absolutely terrific. Oh, and beautiful big cardamom pods in there too. I just thought it was really cool tea. Oh, it's got I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong ingredients. I was reading what this tin used to be. So Exotica is lemongrass, cinnamon, pineapple, orange peel, cardamom, pink peppercorns, cloves, coconut, and lemon and coconut and cinnamon and ginger flavoring. So it's like a spicy, fruity blend. I think it's terrific. Hot and iced, with or without milk, sweetener, no sweetener. I like it all the ways, and I just thought it was really cool that they brought this back because nobody has really, I haven't heard anybody mention this tea in years, and it was just cool that they brought this back, and it didn't last very long, and it was in and out pretty quick, but happy I was able to grab some. The next one that I really liked that I had a whole bunch of before it retired, and then I bought some more off of somebody else because I really like it a lot, and then it came back again. And this tea was around for many years. It was the kind of precursor to what is available now, which is Throat Rescue, and that is organic Bravissimo. And yes, I do have a giant wall tin full of it. It is considered like a throat soothing tea. It's got that licorice root in there. It has chamomile and orange peel. Pretty simple. I just love it. It was part of their core collection for many years. But then I think when Throat Rescue came out, it kind of overshadowed it, and so they retired it. But then they brought it back, and I was happily able to stock up on even more to fill up my wall tin to the brimity brim here. But yes, organic Bravissimo, herbal. Great nighttime tea. I drank it even I not because I have throat problems. It's just because I really like it as a nighttime tea, and it's very soothing and lovely any time of the year. So yay, Bravissimo. The last four here that I have are amazingly returned, like super crazy excited. Never thought I would see these teas again. One that I came back that I had tiny bit of left, probably a couple of perfect spoons left that I was kind of savoring. And then when it came back, I bought tons of it, was Fantasy Island, a tea that was also part of their core collection for a bunch of years. It's black tea with pretty much just coconut and raspberry are the main flavors in it. Cool combination, not a tea combination that I see too often. I really like this hot, I really like it iced. I really like it hot and iced with milk, with and without sweetener, and one of those teas that I just love all the different ways. And very happy that it came back. I know a lot of people were as well that this came back because it was gone for a while. It's been gone for probably 4 or 5 years, and just super excited that this popped up out of nowhere. And that's what seemed to happen. Like all of a sudden, all these teas just started popping up on the website, and they were all these returning teas, and it was going nuts. And my wallet wasn't too happy for that last year. But you know what? A lot of us were stuck at home, and the best thing to do is take care of yourself and drink a lot of tea. So that was pretty cool. Another one that I had just a tiny bit left, probably enough for maybe 4 or 5 cups left. It came out the summer of 2015. It was their first time DavidsTea had ever launched fruity matcha flavors. I think it was blueberry, peach, and mango matcha, and I just loved it. They were available for a limited time that summer, and then they were gone, and they brought them back next year. But they didn't bring back mango. They brought back blueberry, they brought back strawberry, or they brought out strawberry, they brought back peach, and those like stayed part of their core collection. And poor mango never came back until last summer, and mango came back, and I was so excited because while I do love blueberry and peach and strawberry, I've continually drank them because they were available all this time. But Mango was not, and so excited. I love almost all the mango teas DavidsTea came out with. My last video I mentioned Mango Boost, which just came back, which I absolutely love. If you don't know, Mango Fruit Punch is one of my all-time favorite herbal blends to make iced. I have a huge wall tin behind me. You might be able to see it there in the background, and every time it comes out, I buy tons of it because I just go through it so much, make picture after picture after picture of it. And I'm talking about the old Mango Fruit Punch, the one that steeps orange with the safflower petals, not the one with the beetroot. It's good, just not as good as the original. But yay, Mango Matcha! So happy this came out, and it's still available on the website, and I may buy more. The last two were also two teas that were part of the DavidsTea core collection. And they seem to have brought back a lot of black teas last year. So the second one, last two, one that I didn't have any of, actually neither of these two I didn't have any left of. I had them for in small tins and just drank them down and they were gone. So very happy to see this come back, and buttered rum. One of my favorite candies as a kid was buttered rum lifesavers. I know, odd for a kid, but I loved buttered rum lifesavers, and I still do. Occasionally I'll buy them. It's just a simple, delicious black tea. Organic buttered rum. It's got coconut and vanilla in it for the most part, and that's pretty much it. And it just sweet and subtle and creamy. No added sugar or anything in it, but it's just got that natural sweetness from the coconut in it, and it is just delicious. And another tea. I mean, I love black teas, especially in the morning. I mean, I usually wake up in the morning with at least one or two black teas before I move on to others, like oolongs and greens and whatnot. But yes, buttered rum. So glad this came back, was able to stock up. I know a lot of people were very excited, and a lot of people were hoarding it for a while. The only bad thing about hoarding a tea like buttered rum is coconut can go rancid. So same thing with like Fantasy Island. So I try to keep them. Normally I would fill up like a large tin, of if I have a lot of the tea, but I think I'm going to keep my buttered rum just one pouch open at a time, only because of that coconut, and this I know would go bad a lot faster for some reason than some of the other ones. So yay, buttered rum. And last but not least is cranberry pear. We'll just go right into it. Another tea that was part of DavidsTea core collection, and a bunch of years ago, I think 2015 or 2016, they had retired it. And there's not a lot of teas with pear that I like in it. They've released a lot of teas since then with pear in them, and I had just never really cared for them all that much. But this one I did. Again, I had a tin of it. I had drank it down, and that was that, and kind of forgot about it. And so cranberry pear, it's smooth, it's subtle, it's not overly sweet, it's not overly strong. It is a beautiful black tea, and this is from way up to the top here because I bought a ton of it. It's cranberry, apple, and pear, and flavoring, and black tea. I prefer this one, untouched, just straight black, hot. It is okay iced, but for me, I like it hot and plain. I remember I had somebody that I knew that absolutely, like, this was his absolute favorite tea, and he would drink it constantly. He was so devastated when it retired. So very excited that this came back. Some really, really cool throwbacks last year from DavidsTea, and I hope they continue it this year. I know they re-released, a couple of seasonal teas already this year, like Bergamot Kisses, or late last year, which was renamed Chocolate Earl Grey, I think. But another great Valentine's Day blend. Love that tea. Love Earl Grey's. Glad it came back. And I bought a bunch of that to stock up too. But I consider that more of a seasonal tea, which is why I didn't mention it, because it usually comes back every Valentine's Day, or at least has since it originally released. But those are my favorite teas that were re-released by DavidsTea in 2020. If you have a favorite that I mentioned, drop a comment below if you like, if you agree, or if there was another tea that I didn't mention, because there were a few teas that came back that I did not purchase because I did not care for them when I had them in the past. I know there were a few, so if you like those, let me know. Or if you liked any of the ones that I mentioned in these two videos, feel free to leave me a comment. And thanks for watching. And as always, stay safe, be happy. And thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.